What's up, man? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
All right, all right, all right. How
Oh,
are you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Getting started a little bit later today. We'll get to hang out with some new, different people. Maybe we'll see. Um, Wanted to give a shout out to our newest Apple review. Dave sent this over to me. I think it's fucking adorable. And Um, let's see. Here we go, Dave. Clean up your act. I like the spirit of the Thunder content. I get lots of basketball information along with the gung ho rooting for the team. But please quit the filthy, not white. I can't stand to look at them or the greasy hair. I feel insulted and I have to kill the video just to listen. Just had to get that off my chest.
Uh, What's up, Smith? All right. I first of all, the best thing about this is that he has to kill the video on
Yeah.
Apple, right? Which
Well,
doesn't have video, right?
well, it's okay. He gets off of YouTube to listen to our podcast.
Okay, there we go. All right, that's what makes more sense.
Listen, this is from Cello Smith, and here's what I want
I
to
like it,
say.
man. I like it. I like
Um,
being greasy.
okay. You're right.
I was I mean like
You should be insulted. We're dirty.
we're so dirty, bro. I think like
Dude.
even our language, like everything about us is dirty. Like
I
I
take
don't
2 showers a day and I still am the dirtiest motherfucker out there.
dude, I take 2 shits a day and I'm still the dirtiest motherfucker out there
It's
today.
I'm new to Texas and this heat is getting to me,
What's
man.
up, Shane, Jared, and Smits?
I gotta
Yes,
get
you should call in. Please, Smits, call in.
this this is the truth about us. We're
It's in
the
the
dirty
description.
motherfuckers, dude.
If you want to call in, it's in the description. All you got to do
Smiths,
is click more when it says two.
I've been amped about Smith's just calling for a while because he's been saying he's got some stuff to get off his chest about the Thunder.
Dude, bring
Um,
it.
bring it, Dave. You sent me some stuff about KD going 1-on-1 with one and only Chet Holmgren.
Dude,
Um,
KD, man. Whew. Katie looking strong too, man. It wasn't like Katie was looking like a chump out there. You know what I'm saying?
KD looked good. KD was shooting at the peak of his shot, full elevation, full extension. Chet was contesting right there, and then Chet was hitting him back with some moves. Obviously, KD is a seasoned professional, and what he does, he's a pure killer.
Mm.
I'm not saying Chet looked like he was KD's level with fluidity with the ball and the scoring positions or anything like that. But what I will say is he looks like a player who has the ability to eventually maybe reach that type of level.
Sure.
I don't know if he will. That's up to a lot of factors that are outside of anybody's control. But I haven't seen a player like he's like Brandon Ingram, KD. Like there's certain guys that are a certain length who can shoot certain shots and with certain fluidity, and there's just like a handful of them in the world.
Yeah, and I watched. I mean, of course, it's like 7 moves by KD and a few moves here by Chet, but like the reality is that Chet's out there guarding KD, and it wasn't that Chet was out there stopping KD, right? That's what was not the whole point about that. It was that he was staying with him when he would release his shot. He was there, right there with him, releasing the shot on defense. Like to me, that's the
Fingertips.
type of stuff you want to see without fouling. He's consistently right there. And then the other thing I like to see about it was when Chet is going into a scoring motion,
I want to talk
right?
about the scoring in a second, but let's talk about that. Do you think he could block KD's jump shot at the peak?
Yes, no doubt.
Is there anybody else who's ever been able to do that?
I mean, very few guys. I think not consistently though. Like the thing about Chet is that do I think that Chet will be able to do it this year? Probably not, but next year probably. And that's where it gets a little shady is because then KD is getting old. So at what point, like I don't think it's something that you can really say that he can consistently do as a rookie right now.
I know 2 number 2 picks, the past and the
So,
future going head to head. But you
but
were about to say something about offense. Go ahead.
yeah, but what I liked about Chet was like you watched when KD went into his motion. Like it was very like defined. His motion was very like critical. Like every single step was already thought out, right? And then you watch Chet's move, and it wasn't. It was like a child at first running on the court. And this is not a diss towards Chet, but it looked defined. It looked like he was still trying to figure out his footwork and how his release was going to go in with his footwork. And again, this is not a diss on Chet. This is just showing you what happens when you get 12 plus years in the league. Is KD is there, right? So we can say this is what we can expect from KD every single year. And then you look at Chet and you're like, well, we don't really know what to expect from Chet. Then he does something like what he was doing against KD, and it's like, oh, yeah, that Chet can pretty much play. Like, but it's not defined. It's not like boom, boom, boom. And it's like, okay, well, he puts his foot here, so thus I come back here and do that. Like you can see that like he's getting to his spot. And because he's getting open in his spot, he's taking a shot. He's not having to go to a second, his second move or third move from that. And that's what's so crazy about what's happening is that he's able, as a rookie, as a player that's never played in the league, against what I would consider KD as a pretty good defensive player. And he's able to go up against him and get his shot off, even at the basics of moves. And he's able to get his shot off. And it just shows you what type of player and what type of mentality Chet has. And that to me is more exciting than having anybody else in the league. Because right now, like who else is in the league that's going to be a rookie that's playing against KD and the other guys that these guys are playing? I mean, there's not a lot of them. So
I haven't
bring
seen
it, bitch.
It's a crazy summer, but he's jumped from Team USA select to this. Last summer was crazier. I mean, the question is, do we start the season with a healthy Chet? I think so. I mean,
Bro,
he shouldn't be
yes.
afraid of going out and doing stuff. Like this isn't like he needs to get back to his normal self, right?
I mean, it's who he is, like these appearances that they do. It's not just for playing hoops, it's for money. You know what I'm saying? It's for everything else like that. So, all right, man, we got a caller here. Let's bring him in.
Smithsta.
What is up, Smithsta? Yes.
Am I live on the last storm?
This is it.
Well,
man,
freaking
this is
glad to have
for
you,
us,
man.
This
is
awesome,
awesome,
on
man.
Here. I love listening to you guys. Like the live. So I can't wait for the season to start. So I'm really just hanging out for that.
Those are the best, man. So, who are you cheering for FIBA? And are we, are you going to join us for those games? Frozen.
No doubt. I caught the Boomers game. Want to catch up on Josh Giddey and have a little look. And I was very impressed by what I saw, actually. He was the best player on the court by a long way. Was he big man? Looked like Kevin McHale out there.
He looked good. I was impressed.
Dunking everything.
He's only 27 too. He's not very old. I had to look up his age. I had to get some information about him.
But yeah, Giddey was absolutely just incredible.
I'm telling you, team to beat. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. You heard on the last storm. You heard it here first. They're going through the whole tournament.
Wow.
Undefeated. Undefeated.
What I noticed about Giddey was I've never seen him look this good
Australian Boomers.
ever. This is the best I've ever seen Giddey look. He sees the court as well as ever. He's finishing through contact as well as ever. And he's doing it all together at the same time. And by the way, he looks like the biggest player on the court. And he gets the ball up the fastest. So what I see with Giddey right now is we're going to get a different level out of him in this upcoming season. He's really taken what he learned from those two postseason games and said, this is where I want to start next year. And you can see that. You can see what he's taking everything he can and providing it for the Boomers, and what's happening out there. It was spectacular. Like, he could be the best player on our team, and we don't even know it. Like, I know Shea's out there, but like, if the guy's averaging 20, 10, and 10, is he not, arguably the best player on your team?
Oh yeah. I got some. I'm still good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh, lost him.
We had you.
It's all right. We'll get Smithsa back sometime. The connection was a little glitchy, but it was great to finally get to meet him and have him
He's
on.
a legend, man. He's a legend. He's been on here for as long as we've been talking on YouTube. So, man, it's so great to be able to meet him.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
You know what? That's the community here. That's what I get excited about, man. That's what, when we're all said and done and we're here and we're talking to everybody and we're getting to know everybody, that's what I get excited about, in the faces. So here he is. He's coming back in right now.
Taking a second here, but we should get it back going.
All right.
All right. Am I back on?
There we go.
All right. Sorry. About Josh Giddey, that not many people talk about. Number one, very underrated, exceptional leadership.
Absolutely.
Young man, people don't think leadership's necessarily something you associate with young players, but I'm telling you, he's got the leadership. The other underrated, like, intangible, is extremely competitive. As he's just got that line fit, and he just wants to win. And I don't hear many people talk about that. So they're two traits I look at, which I convince me that he's going to be a really good player. Really good.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think that's what's so crazy about what you brought up right there is we've talked about the new NBA is all about team. It's not an individual ISO game anymore. And that's what, seeing somebody like Josh that already has that in his DNA, that's already been producing that, game in and game out already, to me is shows you why when we say things like we would rather Josh Giddey on our team than Cade Cunningham, or we would rather Josh Giddey on our team than any other young point guard in the league, we truly mean that, because Josh has proven to us that he does whatever it takes for the team. And as a point guard that's 6'9", 6'10", whatever you want to call it, that can play 4 positions on defense, that can play 4 positions on offense, maybe all 5 positions on offense effectively, like that right there is invaluable when it comes to a team player and a team atmosphere. Good points, man.
Absolutely. And I love it. I love the 2 underrated intangibles, because you're right. You can't rate those things, but they're the heart of his game.
That's right.
All right. Hey, guys, that's it for me. Short and sweet. Keep up the good work. I'll listen to the remainder of the...
Well, we appreciate
you, man. It's great having you, for sure.
All right. Take it easy.
Take it easy. I love it, man. It's Dave, this is what it's all about, man. Getting a new angle on it, because we can talk about things all the time, but like, for sure, when you talk about his competitive spirit and his leadership, those things for a 20-year-old, it's impossible to like evaluate.
I think it's great, man. First of all, thank you to Smithsa for coming on here. I know it's not for everybody coming on a show and talking to us and all that stuff, but for those who do it, it really means a lot to Mark and I, because like, we just want to get to know everybody that comes and talks. Like, we've had a lot of people on here. Jared, Unk, Blake, we've had
Caleb.
Yeah. And it's just been nice, man. Like, it really has, because like the reality is that when the season starts, right, and every single game that we have a call-in show, we're expecting guys to call in from all around the world, hang out with us, talk with us, be part of the conversation. And that's where it's all about. To us, you guys matter, and that's why we want to continue to bring the show. And it's not going to stop. And especially when it comes to the season, telling you guys, this is the season. This is the season. You got Josh Giddey peaking. He's going to be playing amazing, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is the season for everybody to put your seatbelts on and get ready for some real fucking hoops.
Absolutely, Jared. We're gonna be doing the live call-ins during the game. Nicholas, it's good to have you back, bro, for sure. So yeah, it's
Jared.
all like right now. I feel like the summer is just like us warming up, getting ready for the season, and we wanted to have the call-ins ready to go with the games going on, everybody drinking and smoking or whatever you're doing. We're all gonna try to get together and hang out. I think we could even have 2, 3, or 4 people at the same time. It could be crazy. Fucking crazy. Who knows what's gonna happen?
I think that's the goal. Is that, like, again, we want to bring something, a hangout place that you guys can come and hang out with. And I know last year we got a taste of it, but this next year is going to be the key to it all. So
FIBA warm-ups right here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and the games are such a weird time. Like it's like we're gonna have games at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. So we're obviously not going to be, and that's Eastern time. So it's going to be different for Central. For those who are on what they call Texan time right now. For Mark,
I don't know how much longer it can last here, bro. But I saw that we're gonna have a break where it's not gonna be in the hundreds anymore.
man.
Like even the lows are in the high 80s. It feels like it's not really. That's probably like 80-degree lows. But let's see. Yeah, coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, a high of 99. That's a big break for us here.
I'd say there you
Hi,
go.
you want to come say hi to everybody? No.
Is that little Mark? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say hi right now. He's just gonna turn lights on.
Man, I think about the Commodore every single time I look at my back right here. I look at my Andrew Gaze jersey. Thank you, Sammy. What's up, Mark? Hi. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate that. But I think about Josh Giddey and I think about Andrew Gaze, and I think about the impact that they both will have on the Australian hoops. And if you think about it, the beginning of Australian hoops and the impact that Andrew Gaze had with this next generation, whether it was with Josh Giddey's dad, Warwick, or if it was just with Josh Giddey and spending time and time again with him, And I think that's what's so great about it is if you look at the impact that Josh Giddey will have on the next generation of Australian hoopers, man, is the best part. It's really the best part.
That's what I keep thinking too, bro. I keep thinking, what is a long-term impact for if he becomes one of the like an all NBA level player, with his youth and the fact that the Thunder are not the 76ers, let's just put it like that, because he's not the first all NBA player, but like a player that can have a career that maybe you could look at and say the longevity of a Russ, Harden, or KD. What would that do for the country of Australia and on basketball terms? Because they've kind of needed somebody to carry that torch. Like, and it seemed like Ben Simmons would, but before he entered his prime, it didn't happen. And I feel like we're entering a different phase. So, yeah. Well, he's missing. He got that down.
I love him, little man. No, Smitsa, don't worry about it, man. Seriously, we just like to see you and get to know faces. Man, I'm pumped. So
yeah, and Smitsa, just keep calling in. We'll figure it out. It took us a little while with Unk to figure out all the technical details, but we did, and now he makes it every time he can. So we appreciate Unk for sticking with us because we're new to it, and if you're willing to stick with us while we're figuring out all of the technical stuff, then I know by the time we get to the big games, it's going to be insane. It's going to be the best fun ever. So, and we can't wait to get high with you too, man. That'd be dope.
And I gotta say is if you're thinking about the combination this year, the two guys that are going to connect the most, right? Who comes to mind in this team on the offensive side What is going to be our deadliest combination of two guys?
All right, I think you're gonna say Chet and Giddey.
Nah, but go ahead, keep going.
All right, go. Then,
All right, no.
if you're not gonna say that, then I'll say it.
All
Chet
right,
and
go.
Giddey.
You think Chet and Giddey is going to be the most deadliest combination?
I think if Shea demands the other team's best defender, and your coach, and you say one of those two guys is going to be in a complete mismatch with somebody that just cannot handle them. Yeah, I mean, absolutely take Shea out of the pick and roll. I'm not saying you use him as a decoy, but you know what I mean? You find ways to but yeah, go ahead. What are you thinking?
All right, man. So if you think about it in the way that we have to come down the floor, right? You're going to have Chet coming down the middle of the floor, the top of the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have your Shea on your right-hand side. You're going to have your Dort on the left-hand side, right? You got J-Dub in the corner. Okay. And Giddey is going to be bringing the ball up court, giving it to Chet, giving it to Shea, whoever it is, flying down to the corner. So my point about that is that the second the ball leaves Josh's hands, the offense starts. Okay. And I think the most deadly combination is going to be Shea and J-Dub. Because if I'm coach, right, which obviously I'm not an NBA coach or even close to being an NBA coach level, but if I'm a coach, I'm looking at J-Dub and Shea saying these two guys together make uglies. Well, you can't really say that. Ugly babies, I guess, right? Ugly babies look good. All right. So, and when it looks like push comes to shove, I think about Shea and I think about the way he drives to his, left really hard. And one of the things is that, go to his left hand on the right side. Okay. And I think one of the reasons that we have to highlight this is because it's not his natural hand. It's not his most ball dominant hand. So if he has somebody like J-Dub that's coming up and setting a screen for him, right? Even the opposite side screen, which it wouldn't be very difficult for J-Dub to switch around and give him a screen the other way, right? J-Dub's man switches over on who? Shea. Mismatch all day long. Shea's man switches up on J-Dub, who's going to be much smaller. Shea's man's going to be much smaller than J-Dub's guy on defense, right? So the second he switches over, J-Dub's got the mismatch. Any way you want to throw a defense at these two guys, they're going to pick on the other player who has the disadvantage, and it's going to go straight down to the blocks of that player. Because if you have somebody like Chet that is waiting there for the offensive board at the top of the key, switching down, coming through the lane, going through that other side, you have to play everybody out straight up. And to me, our best drivers, the best guys at getting to the hole is J-Dub and Shea on this team. And if you stick those guys and you make it one side heavy, setting screens for each other, getting around screens, going to the hole, throwing alley-oops for each other, there's going to be not a single team that will be able to mess around with that 1-2 punch. I mean, think about it. They're both 6'6". They both have long fucking crazy arms. They both got great first moves, great first steps. They can finish incredibly hard and incredibly well. J-Dub gets up higher than Shea, but Shea has that funky release that he gets really close to the hole and finishes really well. You know what I'm saying? So like they both have like a finesse, but a power to each of their games. And you put that together on the court at the same time. And after a year, they've been able to play together. It's not a coincidence that J-Dub went off the second half of the season. It's not a coincidence that Shea went off the second half of the season. Like these two guys together made each other better. And it was all 100% evident when they're on the court together on the same side. And that's what makes me most excited about it. Josh Giddey, yes, I get excited about him and Chet. There is no doubt about it. But I don't think we give enough credit to Shea and J-Dub on the court at the same time. And one of the most filthy lineups in that fourth quarter was J-Dub, Shea, right? Aaron Wiggins, okay, J. Will. You see what I'm saying? Like it's this team is what we need for that high motor, 1-2 punch. And you look at J-Dub and Shea, and there's just not a team that's going to be able to mess with that. I know.
55 plus wins. That's what I keep thinking. When I think about that starting lineup, and I think about the fact that you're bringing J. Will, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe off the bench, Kenrich Williams. I'm like, guys, This is not a 40-win team.
It's not.
We only won 40 games last year because of like our lack of depth
No.
and age when it went
Shea.
down to it.
If Shea, think about this. If Shea played, he played what, 68 games, 65 games, whatever, 67 games. If he had played even 75 games, 7 more games, 8 more games than he played, we win 3 more games there. You know? And then it's not even barely making into the playoffs. And that's what I even say. Like, even if Shea plays
Shea
3
a
more
developmental year,
Yeah.
Giddy a developmental year,
Shea plays
Chet
more games
on the court.
I mean, what are we?
Oh my
I mean, like
God,
again,
man.
like we're back where we taught the end of the last podcast, man. We're at the same spot we ended the last podcast.
I've entered a new territory because for a while I used to be like, this reminds me of like the past of the Thunder, but no, man, this is different.
This
'Cause
is
you
different. Nick,
you had Mitchich in there too, and you're
Bro.
like, this team has a chance to like.
we're not
really,
done either. We're not done because we still have 20 players. We still got to get rid of 5. I mean, if Mistress is on this team when it's all said and done, if Victor Oladipo is on this team, but think about this, man. If we made a package deal, right? If we made a package deal with Mistress, Victor Oladipo, Bertans, right? I mean, right there is good enough for at least 2 first-round picks. You know, like to me, like we are talking in the midst of 3 to 5 guys still leaving this team. And I say 3 to 5 guys because I still think there's a couple guys that will probably, be cut. So 3 to 5 guys, let's just say 3 guys that get traded. 2 guys get cut, 3 guys get traded. You know, like we're in a situation right now where any 3 of these bench guys could be traded, like Trey Mann. I mean, I don't want to see Ousmane Dieng get traded, but the reality is we don't know who's going to get traded because we can't have all these players. And if Mistress is still on this team, I still think that this team is going to be a legendary bench. And if you look down the league through the course of history, when you talk about legendary benches, this team will have to be in there for that. They just have to be.
I love it, man. Smith, so don't worry about it, man. We'll keep rocking.
Seriously,
No
don't.
worries.
Seriously, we're good, man, Smiths. I don't want you to stress about it. To us, it was like it's all
We're
worth
just glad
it.
we got to meet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all worth it, man. Like as we get going, the reasons we're doing this, still a couple months before the season starts, or 100 days till the season starts, whatever it is, we're doing this now is because by the time it all ends and the time we get there, whether we need to change our software to make it easier for people to call in or what, we'll know by then. And our goal is definitely to get everything in sync by then. So, Smith, I just, man, I appreciate you calling in. It takes some balls to call in on a show that like this. I mean, it's not a huge show. There's not like tens of thousands of people watching it, but in the scheme of things, there's a lot of people that are going to turn on the show.
Nicholas, I think you're right. Chip England will have a big impact. I think you're talking about percentage, but also style, confidence, and how the guys simply pop up and shoot. I think defenses will be afraid. I think the type of shots the team will be taking will improve. I watched some Team Canada highlights. I saw Dort miss one of his classic elbow 3-pointers, right? Which I'm not trying to turn into one of those Dort, critics or anything. I'm just saying, like, and he immediately, as soon as the team got the offensive rebound, he ran straight to the corner and he knocked down a reload 3 there. And it was like, I felt like his footwork was noticeable, that he knew the opportunity was best in the corner. And he sprinted there almost like it was like one of those games, like the 2-on-2 shooting competitions where they have hot spots and you get 4 points for here, 3 points for there. He sprinted to the corner like it was an open shot before there, like, and it could have been something where he just like tried to get a fast break out of it because of an offensive rebound, switch it up, try to get to the basket. He runs to the corner. I'm like, that's not something I've seen from Dort much. So I have a lot of, I keep seeing all these things from Thunder players. This summer it's insane. It's impossible to keep track of. You got Chet doing crazy stuff, J-Dub changing in so many ways. And then all of a sudden you have Shea doing his thing, Giddey doing his thing, Dort doing his thing.
Man, I'll say
They can't keep track of it, bro.
I'll say this. Let's just say it right now. The two bodies that are most impressive from the off year changes is Josh Giddey's and J-Dubs, man. Josh Giddey isn't being talked about because, like he's still in that skinny, white boy mode, right? But the reality is that Josh he's getting big, bro. And the thing about it is that they're expecting him to play a lot of that power forward position. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets beefed up into 225, 230 by next year. And if you think about, he's got to be close to 225 right now. He's got to be really fucking close to 225. So to me, like, that's what we need to see. I want to see that improvement in Josh's game, because when you're looking at it and you're saying Josh is going to touch the ball, let's just say we take 100 shots a game. Let's just say we smash some records, average 100 shots a game. Josh every single game is touching that ball, with 80 of the shots, 75 of the shots. Think about that. Those numbers are so significant. You want a guy to be in incredible shape to be able to play all the positions he needs to play. So I want to see Josh's body get better. I want to see it get stronger and bigger, and that BDE just like ooze off of him and just get back to the grind. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I'm gonna say it, bro, and then we're gonna get out of here. We can start next episode at this point if we want. Whatever, dude.
Let's do it.
This is the most anticipated Thunder season in history.